I just want to welcome you to our program. This is UPND Live on Europe chapter. My name is Isaac Mlongo. We are so excited once more again. Today we have very wonderful, great guests. We are going to be with the Member of Parliament for SHESEKE, Mr. His Honorable REMEO KANGOMBE. And we are already excited. Our own representative in economics is already here. The president of the Chamber of Commerce, Mr. Alexander Lawrence. Good evening, sir. He's still muted? Okay. Well, somehow we have lost him. We hope that he is going to come back. I welcome you, Madam Gazetu, and Mr. Komona. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you so much, Chair. Thank you so much. It's great to be here all the time. God bless.
Wonderful.
I'm looking forward to listening to Honorable KANGOMBE and Mr. Alex Lawrence.
He's here. He's already here. Maybe he can greet the audience. Sir,
yes,
good evening.
Evening. Thank you for inviting me.
Wonderful, wonderful. We can start the ball rolling as we are waiting for the guest of honor, but we are privileged, sir, to have you here on this platform tonight. I know you have a lot of insight when it comes to economics, because you are the president of Chamber of Commerce and Industry. I'm talking about the Lusaka region, and I have interacted with you so many times. I know what you carry, and I'm excited. Welcome once more. Okay, so we have to get hold of our guest. We expected him to be here already. Mr. Komona, what are your expectations? I know we don't want to absolve everything already. The president, he just came back from Paris. You can imagine the kind of happenings that have taken place. Zambia's debt has been restructured. Anyway, in that direction, sir.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chair. It's really awesome. Actually, I remember when where was I? I was in one of some nearby cities to Hamburg when His Excellency Hakainde Hichilema was welcomed, ceremoniously at the Kenneth Kaunda International Airport and bringing in, a bag. That debt relief is quite amazing. What's happening, within the short period of time. The UPND and its party has been in power 1.8 years. It's not so long, but the effects are going to be felt, of course, through such kind of a gesture, especially that we've figured out and seen that the little income that comes in, immediately gets distributed out to the communities and to the populace of Zambia, and that's how things are supposed to move like. And for sure, through this debate or presentation by our honorable, sure, I can't wait to hear what is in his bag. Thank you, sir.
Wonderful, wonderful. We have someone by the name of Malikopo. I don't know who is that one. Please, maybe you can just introduce yourself so that we know who is there with us.
That is our very own Bashipundu.
That's right. I actually wrote to my chair that apparently my having opted to go for Keto instead of the new phone is, I think, having it stored on me. So my phone still can't do with the video. I'm still trying to upgrade, but the audio is working. I hope you can hear me clearly.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much, Mr. Alexander. I know you are on the ground in Zambia. Sir, can you just give us briefly the kind of excitement that you experienced as the president returned from Paris with a great package, something that many people have been waiting. Some even say it can never happen. Sir, please, your input.
You're making me, Chair, you're making me preempt what the Honorable Member of Parliament is supposed to offload this evening, noting that we were in some committee meetings together with the Honorable last week. So I'm also excited to hear from his perspective what is going to happen. But within the business community, there's those that are holding bated breath because they want to see how things unfold. The statement has been made, but there's still some processes to be completed for this to be actualized. But you can already see the impacts that it has on the currency. First of all, a lot of our consumers are also hoping for price reductions and lifestyles to improve, but it gives confidence to the business community that things can now be done with a lot of optimism. We can walk into the market with our heads held up very high, because remember that in the recent past, Zambia is the first country against all odds to have the debt restructuring. And the debt restructuring is about renegotiating the manner in which you're going to take care of your debts, with a lesser amount over a longer period, a lesser payment amount over a longer period of time, which means you are unfreezing money and redirecting it to avenues that are supposed to be used in terms of social service provisions and developmental issues. One thing that is going to definitely happen is that we'll not go out into the market to borrow money now, but each one of us would be able to contribute to ensuring that we generate our own income to take care of the things that we need to do. What is also exciting is that at least in our communities, there will be things that will be able to be done because each one of us as Zambians will take ownership of what we have. This is a victory for all Zambians, whether you're in the opposition or in the ruling group. It's a victory for all Zambians because it was something that's been done against all odds. So you can imagine the confidence that has come back into the market. What we are waiting to hope to see is also our banks reducing their interest rates, because they themselves have crowded us out of the market more or less. They're not coming to the party over the last few months, although they've been making pronouncements. But let's wait and see. Chair, you've really done me something. You've caused me to speak before the Honorable does.
Yes, because he's not yet here. So because of your expertise, you can carry on. Maybe just to divert, recently we had the COMESA conference and a lot has happened. Many people, they don't even know. Many people, they didn't hear about it. Maybe you can just briefly talk about your experience, what kind of atmosphere and what things have been agreed on within the Southern region and East Africa, including many others parts of Africa that we belong to as a trade region. Maybe, sir, that is your area. You can give the audience some information.
Yes, I'm actually speaking tomorrow again at some forum as well, where we will be discussing even the role of the SMEs coming into the market. Now, what happened about 3 weeks ago caused us all to be dancing on the rooftops, Chair, because some favorable conditions have begun to take place. The first thing that we... I don't know if you can hear me clearly.
Very much, very authentic, sir.
You can.
Okay. Thank you, Chair. What has happened is, from our perspective as a Chamber of Commerce, we've been pushing for Zambia, for Lusaka to become a regional trade investment hub. So in the recent past, with a number of conferences taking place in Lusaka, the most exciting being the COMESA one, it has put us in the limelight again. Now, what happened during the conference is important for us to begin to understand. There's an agreement that has been entered into between Zambia and Zimbabwe for the two countries to jointly become an agri-hub. So there'll be agri-processing, the whole value chain being established between the two countries. Primary aim is to feed our brothers in the north. We're looking at the DRC, we're looking at Burundi, Kenya, Somalia, and those other countries who have been going through challenges born out of the climate change. So they've not been able to have the kind of production of basic staple crops that they've been having. You will recall, Chair, that Kenya at one stage did serve as a regional grain basket, but now that is the thing that where Zambia is beginning to take up that space together with Zimbabwe. So we're taking care of parts of Malawi who went through a huge challenge as regards the floods that they recently experienced, and based on that they've had food shortages and whatnot. So we're trying to up our game there, and in doing that we're creating opportunities for the Zambian businesses to begin doing things where we become a feedstock for everyone. So those of you who are sitting in Europe, you need to take advantage of the farming blocks that are established to get land, so that you'll be able to take part in feeding and generating incomes for ourselves here. To move from being a basket case to being the grain basket is something awesome that we need to be celebrating, and it means now we'll be able to do a lot of things. We step up the game on our environmental management, which is the green economy. Both the Kenyan president and the Zambian president spoke a lot into that, where we're looking at creating a borderless green economy and ensuring that there's a market transformation and innovation that takes place, creating linkages for all our Zambian businesses. Today, we don't even want to hear of a Zambian saying, I don't have a market for anything, because there is an opportunity for the Zambian to take part of both the COMESA and SADC regions. So that is it's going to be very important for both you and I, whether we're at home or abroad. Your experience in the diaspora is really going to, because they did speak to the participation of our brothers and sisters who are in the diaspora to actively take part in the developmental processes which are now kicking in for the country. I would like to also state, Chair, that we've moved now where our economic growth was politically inclined. It's now business. We're not looking at the politics coming into business, but it's business generating business to ensure that there's proper economic growth and the transformation of our whole country. So you're going to see a lot of rapid changes taking place. We need to ensure that there's proper infrastructure development. Our education is picked up again. We need a lot to be done in science and technology, innovation to keep our youth going. I submit, Chair, for the moment.
Thank you so much. At the right time, the Honorable has just joined us. Thank you so much. Sir, you are welcome. Honorable REMEO KANGOMBE, all the way from SHESEKE, the Member of Parliament. Good evening, sir. You can unmute yourself. We want just to hear your beautiful, wonderful...
Good evening, colleagues, and please, you pardon me. I was running late. I was off the grid. So I thought I could make it on time, but you know, the traffic back home, so I got delayed a bit, but at least now I've got proper coverage.
Wonderful. Sir, are you in a position to put your video just 1 second? If people, they can see you, they want to see this man who is heading a very wonderful constituency in Western Province.
Oh, definitely, yes. I hope you pardon my dress code. I look like a villager.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, sir. It's fine. Yes, you are welcome, sir, to this wonderful program. And we've just been talking about the developments that are taking place in our country. And as you are aware that the president just returned back from Paris, where he brought a very wonderful package where he managed to make a deal so that there is a restructuring of the debt that others left behind. Sir, what is your comment over that? How is the excitement, the people of SHESEKE? Have they got the news? Honorable Kangombe, you can come in, sir. That was for you.
The people that are connected here and those that may be following the proceeding. I'm not just a member of parliament for SHESEKE, but I'm as well sit in the Office of Mobilization and Strategy for UPND, which is of course the inner circle of the party in power. Yeah, so talking about the debt restructuring, you know, we scored the first half. The president has scored the first half. I'm saying the first half because we haven't restructured the entire debt. Yeah, but looking at the amount that has been restructured so far, the 6.3 billion, which will in turn help the government stabilize the economy in the sense that, you know, the IMF will be able to release about 188 million US dollars in a few days to come, is indeed a great relief to the people of Zambia, considering the amount of debt that this country accrued and this new donor administration has so far inherited from the previous regime that was, you know, borrowing money recklessly without any consideration of how they're going to pay it back. You may wish to know that the ability of the art of borrowing is the ability to pay. But the previous regime was borrowing money without the ability to pay. But thank God, through God's divine providence, we have a leader in President Hakainde Hichilema, who single-handedly, together with the administration, without any involvement of any foreign stakeholders, any entities, they have managed to restructure the bill, you know, which I may refer to as first quarter of the 90 minutes. Because when you look at 6.3 million, it's almost half of the 13 billion plus that this country is owing the commercial lenders. So on behalf of the people of SHESEKE, we are very happy, and on behalf of the government and the party that I represent, we are very happy that at least this will enable the government to inject money in the economy and ensure that we make substantial profit, which in turn will be able to now set aside what we'll be able to pay to these commercial lenders. So in answering your question very briefly, of course, the people of SHESEKE, myself, and the party, we are happy and we are proud of President Hakainde Hichilema.
Wow, very wonderful. That is very beautiful, sir. We are very grateful. Every one of us is excited. You know, it's a burden to have a credit. Actually, us who are children of God, we believe that if you borrow, you become a slave to the lender. So at least we want to come out of that, and definitely God is going to help us, and we shall be out of this step. No matter what, no matter how it is, how long it takes, things shall be corrected, and the money should be going to be reinjected to the economy. Sir, please bear with me. Somehow I did manage to introduce you properly. Please briefly tell the people who is REMEO Kangombe. Just briefly, maybe in just 2 minutes, sir.
REMEO Kangombe is a villager from SHESEKE. Of course, you may also refer me to the last born in the new Dawn administration in terms of parliamentarians. I came in through a highly contested by-election in the history of this country. That was in 2019, when unfortunately we lost one gallant man of the soil, the late Honorable Frank Simona Fakwandi. But I was lucky among a few. I was adopted in. I would say it was a tight, but midway, all my colleagues that were aspiring to contest the seat withdrew, and they unanimously endorsed me. So in 2020, I was privileged to be in the National Management Committee, where subsequently the president, appointed me to be in the Office of Mobilization and Strategy for the party in power now, of course, UPND, which I've been serving since then. Yeah, so REMEO Kangombe is a villager from SHESEKE, and of course, a youthful parliamentarian. I'm 35 years of age. I'm a father of 3 girls and a boy. One boy who is the last born, of course. His name is REMEO Kangombe Jr. I'm married to Mainga Nkwani. So REMEO Kangombe is representing a constituency that is bordering Zambia, Namibia, as well as Angola. I would say my constituency is the biggest in this country because it's sitting on an area of 27,272 square kilometers, seconded by Munilunga, which is, I think, about 20,000 plus. Yeah, so basically that's about me. I'm a tax consultant man, and I'm doing my bachelor's degree in political science. Of course, I come from a corporate world. I run a few companies here and there, Brakali Logistics, which is also a tax consultants company. I run KANGOMBE group of companies, and Rolika Fisheries are for the few fleets of trucks that are predominantly pulling consignments from Bavish Bay to Lubumbashi and other parts of Zambia. I am a farmer, a pastor farmer inspired, of course, by the president. Of course, I have a few animals, a few. Yeah, so basically, this is all about REMEO Kangombe.
Thank you so much, sir. That is really great. So, sir, we will take you up now to why we have brought you here. There is one success story about the UPND, the New Dawn government, and that is the implementation of the CDF fund, which is actually decentralized, and it is coming to every constituency. Sir, people, they want to know what is happening in SHESEKE. What have you used the money so far in your constituency? Maybe you can start briefly to tell us the kind of projects that are happening in your constituency, so that people, they know what is taking place in SHESEKE.
Yeah, before I delve into CDF, I would want to make you laugh and to make your colleagues maybe understand a little bit of the background with regards to CDF. A few days ago, when the president was in France, I had a conversation with him. He reminded me of the interaction that we had when we were fighting butane. I remember it was around 15 hours. It was me, Honorable Jatila for Momba, and the president, when he told us that when we form government, I'm going to increase CDF to not less than $1 million. Okay, those people that know me, they say I'm a bit radical and I'm problematic. So I challenged him, I asked him, Mr. President, where are we going to get that money, considering the amount of debt this country has so far accrued? And the president told me, you just wait. What is important is you and me should be kept among the living, and we form government, you see what will happen. Yeah, so this is something that even me, I never expected. I'm just giving you that brief background, that I never expected that the New Dawn administration will increase constituency development fund that was not being disbursed year in, year out by the previous governments. But the New Dawn administration has so far, in its first year, increased it by 1,600%, which is quite enormous. It's not a small amount of money. And the beauty of it is it's constituency driven. So it speaks to each definition. And speaking directly now to your question, CDF is a game changer in the sense that each and every constituency will be able to receive now, after the immediate first increase to 28.3 million, each and every constituency will be able to receive that money in this country. And SHESEKE in particular, one of the constituencies that was perceived, but true, that it's a stronghold for UPND, suffered so much in terms of lack of development. Now, with the coming of CDF, we have managed to make tremendous and I would say massive development in 1 year comparing to the previous years that were receiving a 1.6 million. Now, we have our integrated strategic plan for SHESEKE, okay, which is being guided by the list of priorities. And because of the presidential directive that we should offer free education from nursery, that is the preschool, up to grade 12, the demand in the lower grades was quite enormous, quite high. So that made us realign our priorities to speak to the demand of free education. So what we've done so far is to upscale in terms of development in the education sector, and we have managed to bridge the gap in the first year that we received the 25.7 million. SHESEKE has got, like I earlier on said, it's the biggest constituency in Zambia, 27,272 square kilometers, which I'm hoping it's going to be delimited when we are going to have the delimitation process. So we have 10 wards that are quite vast. In all the 10 wards, I can safely tell you that we have put massive development in terms of classrooms. We decided to realign our priorities direct to classrooms because of the free education in ensuring that we cater for the infants, for the pupils, the grade 1s, the preschool as they report to school. Not just have we made tremendous achievement in classrooms, the president again gave a directive that there shouldn't be any classroom that should be commissioned without desks. And SHESEKE being the home of timber in this country, we have so far procured 1,600 desks, which we hope by the end of this year we'll be able to close the gap of 7,000, and we are determined to do that. There has been a little bit of delayment due to the procurement process, which fortunately through the living document that we've so far created, which is called the CDF guidelines, we noted a few challenges procurement process. And the president being a listening president, he shed off powers to the provincial local government officers so that the bureaucracy of having all the projects and documents being, cleared by one man, who is my elder brother, Honorable Nkombo in Lusaka, should be done by the provincial local government officers. And ever since that has been done, we've seen the change and the speed up in terms of implementation of programs and the reduction in the delayment that was being exacerbated by the procurement bureaucracy. So far, I would say we have a list of projects that are ahead of us, earmarked to be undertaken. I would speak to Likanda in Katimamulilo, which never had any structure. The structure will be completed this coming month. They've already done the roofing, a 1x3 classroom. We have in Kalobolelwa a structure that was commissioned at Kavuyu Primary School. We have a structure in Mbao of Imusho. By the way, Imusho is one critical area in this country, in the sense that for you to access Imusho, you have to go through Namibia. And there's never been a very good infrastructure in terms of, permanent structures. So we've done a 1x3 and VIP toilets for the pupils there. We have done a 1x3 classroom again in Imusho. That is Chivula Primary School. We are also doing a clinic in Chivula. Other than that, in Maondo Ward, we have Inyamboyeta. It was a community school. Now it's been adopted by the government to put a structure there, a permanent structure, and a boho. Still in Maondo, we have done a 1x3 classroom at Katongo Primary School, as well as renovating 2 classrooms that were almost falling off. We have done also a renovation and 1x3 classroom that is being constructed now, still in Maondo, at Maondo Secondary School. We are undertaking also works at SHESEKE Secondary School in the Abruzzian. We've also done, that is now in Mulimambango Ward, which is right by the CBD. We've also done a clinic, Siduka Clinic, in Mulimambango Ward. Still, in Nakatindi Ward, we've done a 1x3 at Livala. We've also managed to complete a structure at Nakatindi Secondary School that was stored for a very long time due to lack of funds. We are also constructing a 1x5 classroom at Lilonga Primary School. In Lusu, we are doing a 1x3 classroom at Kaliki. Almost, actually, it's completed. We're just waiting to finish procuring the desks so that we can go and hand over, hopefully, this August. Still in Lusu Ward, we've done a clinic at Lusu Secondary School. That is also earmarked for commissioning. Still in Lusu, we are doing a 1x5 classroom at Katete. Then we go to Luampungu, which is the furthest, vast, and of course very difficult because of its terrain. It's completely sandy. We've done the first ever classroom at Sonso, which is also earmarked for commissioning this August. Then in Nangombe Ward, which is a new ward, we are doing a 1x3 classroom at Mandila, which we hope by August also will be able to commission it. Then in Lusu, because SHESEKE is being, dissected by the Zambezi River, you have the Lusu East and the Lusu West. So we've procured 3 boats to ensure that the people both sides are able to cross without any difficulties. That is still under CDF. Then we cross over again in Kalobolela Ward, where we did a classroom at Kavuyu. We are also doing 1x3 classroom at Makanda. Then in Sulumbu Ward, we have done a 1x2 at Namikuta, which we've commissioned. We've also done a 1x3 at Kapau, which never had the permanent structures ever since. We've also commissioned that. In Katimamulilo Ward, that's where we did the Likanda classroom that I'm talking about, which is earmarked for commissioning this August. And we are almost completing now at SHESEKE Secondary School a laboratory. We've also commissioned a 1x2 classroom at Makusi. That's in Katimamulilo ward. So in terms of education, that's what we've done so far in 1 year. Then, in terms of grants, no, we've done quite enormous, and I'm happy for the people of SHESEKE. I'll speak one particular one,
Yes.
which is Mutanda Lutusane. You may wish to know that the previous visitation I was in the constituency, I was gifted a goat, from the people that we've empowered so far. This is how much people have welcomed this move of grants and how they appreciate it by ensuring that they don't just share the money and eat the money. And I'm happy with my team. We take time to educate our people the importance of investing and the importance of working together. And so far, I can safely say the people of SHESEKE haven't disappointed me. If you follow current affairs, I'm pretty sure you should have been able to see the success stories that are, connected to the grants. The loans, we had a few challenges here and there due to, some management issues with the bank. SHESEKE has got only one bank, Atlas Mara, which was formerly known as.
Can I just interrupt you just a minute, sir, before you go into that direction? Maybe people, they are more interested in one thing, that's maybe the major problem that they are facing, is how to access these funds. How can one access, for example, this CDF, sir? Did we lose him? Hello? Did we lose him? It's like we have lost our guest. Okay. Yeah, it looks like we have lost him. Let's hope he's going to come back. Madam Linda, you have been here from the very beginning. I would like you to come in and comment on what the Honorable Sufa said, and then we shall let others maybe ask questions to Alexander Lawrence, because he's with us here. Madam.
Maybe, Chair, you can start with other people. Let me try to get hold of the Honorable.
Okay, he's back.
I'm a villager, you pardon me.
No problem, sir. It's fine. I was just saying, before maybe you go into explaining grants and all those things, the question most people are interested in is to know is how to access CDF. How is the process? Maybe you can just briefly tell the audience to say, okay, this is what is supposed to happen step by step until to the time when someone gets, whether it's a grant, I don't know what everything that is there. That would be very helpful information.
Okay, maybe let me start from the project's point of view. Like I alluded to the fact that, CDF, it's constituency driven, it's people driven. So the process starts from the zonal representatives who are part of the WDCs, the Ward Development Committee. So the Ward Development Committee have got what they call zonal representatives. Those are people that are in different segments of the constituency who sit with the public and identify their priority list in terms of projects. From the zonal representatives, it scales up to the WDCs who sits and comes up with a comprehensive report of the projects that they wish to undertake in that particular ward. The WDCs submit to the implementing partner, who in this case is the local government authority. Then the local government authority creates a platform for the Constituency Development Fund Committee, the CDFC, to sit and evaluate the projects that have so far been submitted. And for your information, the Constituency Development Fund does not insert projects. Projects are inserted by the community. So what the CDFC, the Constituency Development Fund Committee, does is to apportion the projects and to run through the priority list from each and every particular ward and see where a certain project fits with regards to the submissions. There are no changes whatsoever that they make, except they look at the priority list from that particular ward. So it starts from there. Even on grants, the community members do applications to the WDCs through their zonal representatives, who, in like manner, just like they do on the projects, submit to the Constituency Development Fund. And the Constituency Development Fund depends with the money. And I want to be explicitly clear that, see, people think the entire 28.3 million is for projects, or 28.3 million is for grants or loans. No. It's segmented into, you have money for grants, you have money for community projects, you have the money for the loans, you have the money for the bursaries. As you may be aware that it's free education. It's not free education in the sense that the government does pay. The government pays for its citizenry. So what the government does is they send that money to the local authority, and the pupils, together with their parents in the respective wards where they reside, they apply to the WDCs that I want to be in the body, if they want to be in the body, so that they can be catered for. School fees as well as accommodation will be paid by the Constituency Development Fund Committee through the implementing partner, which is the local government. So that is the process. I hope I've been explicitly clear. So the process starts with the zonal representatives from different wards, who in turn submits to the WDC, to the CDFC, who then approves. And I want to say that the biggest challenge that we've had so far, speaking for my constituents, is on the skills. The skills development haven't received, the support that we hoped the citizenry will be able to embrace it, especially the youths. I want to be very categorical that it's been a disappointment that not so much youths have so far applied for skills. Reasons best known to themselves.
That's maybe there. Where is really the problem? How can the youths who are so much in need of employment cannot apply for something which is already there?
Yeah, like I'm saying, it's been a disappointment. I, for one, if you follow me on my page, REMEO KANGOMBE, you appreciate how blunt I become when I interact with them, because it's like you're standing knee deep in the river and you die of thirst. How do you stand knee deep in the river and die of thirst? The government has created a platform where you do not need to pay anything. The school fees will be catered for by the government. The feeding will be catered by the government. Literally everything, including accommodation. But a few of our youth, and I'm saying a few because I have the privilege of interacting with the country at that level. I know that so far, a lot of our youths haven't really received this. And I don't know where the problem is. Maybe they don't have the patience that for you actually to undertake all these projects that are going to be implemented by CDF, you need the skill. You need to know carpentry for you to do the roofing for the classroom. You need to know carpentry for you to win a tender to make desks which are going to be procured by the council. You need to know bricklaying for you to construct a classroom and a house. You need to know plumbing for you to be able to do proper, fully water reticulated house. Yeah, but we hope, especially speaking for SHESEKE, we hope that as soon as the government commissions the SHESEKE Trade School, I expect to see, an enormous, a number in terms of applicants that are willing to undertake all these skill trainings. But so far, it hasn't been good. The entire country, from where I stand, I know it hasn't been good, and we can only hope that these youths, there's need for mindset transformation. The issue of short benefits is long gone. Now you need to be futuristic in whatever you do. You need to know that if you need to continue making a substantial and steady income, definitely you need these skills. Failure to which will still be complaining that the government is doing literally nothing when we are standing knee deep in the river and dying of thirst. I think answering your question, there is need for mindset transformation across the board. Otherwise, the government and the president is doing enough.
That is great, sir. We appreciate, and I think they are listening and getting it. So I hope from here, someone is going to contact you. Maybe it's going to contact the counselor or whoever so that they can be helped because they need the help. But before you can continue, sir, I want just to bring Alexander Lawrence, sorry, who is also with us. He's a passionate educationist. Sir, you have heard the problems that Zambia is faced. What are you saying as an economist? Yes, what are you saying as an how can this problem be solved? We urgently need a solution for our youth.
Yes, Honorable, good evening once again. Last week we were together as you sitting as our chair. We didn't think we'd be sharing a platform today to advertise what you are doing in the country. Coming to the challenge that not only the Honorable is facing in his constituency, it's a broad-based challenge that's throughout the country. We've got two elements that has encompassed our mindsets over the years, and that is the element of entitlement and dependency syndrome. We've never had the drive to become innovative or creative in dealing with these things. That's why the uptake skill is very, very slow, but needs to be enhanced. I think also with what Honorable has been trying to put across, when and this is something from the Chamber of Commerce that I keep advocating for, even with the financial institutions, that as people are being given the opportunity and privilege to access funding, whether it's at CDF level or commercial funding, there's one element that is absent from us, and that is a mentorship development program. At constituency, whether it's at zonal, ward or constituency level, we need to ensure that there's a mentorship program so that people will be able to learn responsibility and accountability in dealing with these things. Another thing, as much as the Honorable has spoken about CDF being accessed by all Zambians, it's imperative for you to understand that these are developmental funds which are to be used at constituency level. And the constituency is made up of a zone, a district, and then constituency itself. So if anybody is going to access those funds, they must be domiciled, they must be from a zone or a ward where the different parties will know who they are and what they're doing. No longer are we going to have people coming from Lusaka, even if you do originate from SHESEKE, but if you're not domiciled in SHESEKE, then by no chance should you be allowed to access those funds, because that's where the element of abuse and failure came in, as is seen in the past. This is helping Zambians take ownership. This is helping Zambians provide solutions, and this is also now helping us in decongesting our urban areas to ensure that every part of the country is being developed. SHESEKE is a very unique place, and I'm going to share with Honorable about his unique area if he's going to be smiling, but let me submit to that level. Thank you.
Wow, wow. Thank you so much. That is great. I think solutions are being worked out. I have a passionate educationist from diaspora as well. Before I bring others, Mr. Komona, you have passion for education. What can you give to the people of SHESEKE?
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. Just a little bit of self-introduction. I'm the interim director of UPND European chapter, titled Business, International Trade and Education. I've been in the out of education for the past.
Just a second, Mr. Lukomona. Just a second.
Okay.
Maybe those who are not on the floor, may they switch their mics off. There's a lot of echo, so we can't really get it right. Please. Sorry for the interruption.
Okay, thank you so much. I didn't get that. Otherwise, I would have come in already. Please just make sure when you are not speaking, have your mic muted. I'll mute mine as well so that there's.
Yes, thank you so much. I've been in the realms of education for the past 30 years. And thank you so much for great presentation, Honorable Kangombe. Awesome stuff happening in SHESEKE regarding the CDF. And thank you so much, Mr. Alexander, for contribution. Now, I've streamlined. Honorable says there's a problem. We don't know the reason why the youth, especially, they don't want to embrace into the CDF. This is what I've come to figure out through private interviews that I've had with several youths, in Zambia. The quest of apathy. Now, the problem does not lie in the hands of the youth. They are coming from a certain background. The delta or the change has just been so abrupt, so good to embrace and to believe things can change so drastically. What do I mean? No, there's two phases here. The great genesis, I would call it. Great genesis. Here comes, boom, 28 million given to the constituencies. Now, there should be a transformation from this great genesis of 28 million CDF to the exodus. What's the exodus? One, like Honorable said, this money belongs to the community, decentralized, to be used by community, to develop the communities and the individuals' projects. Awesome, like the Honorable has said here, so many projects have been done to improve SHESEKE, but few projects done to improve the individual lives of the communities, because they haven't bought into, they don't want to apply for grants and this and that. Therefore, what I've figured out, not only in SHESEKE, across board Zambia, is there's been a lack of deliberate policy, strong deliberate policy of goal-oriented sensitization about CDF. Look at this. Here is a boy who's gotten news previously to Tantameni, okay? And stuff happened like that. Then you just write in a newspaper or on television, please, CDF is out there, you go and apply, it works. The same boy is going to cure, probably is told, no, come tomorrow, come next week, Tafiwomba. So what I propose, Honorable Kangombe, is draw up some programs which should specifically be goal-oriented. What do I mean by goal-oriented? Of course, even what you are doing is goal-oriented, but the mindset has to be transformed, to be taught, one, before you apply for CDF, and it's been communicated to them, you need a program, for instance, entrepreneurship. If you want to go into fisheries, you need to learn a little bit about fisheries. Into computing industry, mobile phone repairing and stuff, you got to learn a little bit. Phase one, you're going to probably spend 3 months. Another phase, you're going to spend maybe 4 weeks. Then after you've gotten the CDF, these are the business projections. By such a period of time, you are able, or your community or corporation is able to gobble so much amount of money. Paper seen, figures seen on the paper. I tell you, they're going to buy into it. Unlike things, news is coming to them, which is good, but nobody's knocking on their door. We are talking about mindset change here. Mindset, they're coming from a different and totally, I would put it in quotes, difficult background. That was difficult. They were getting handouts. It was difficult, which couldn't sustain them until now. Now the new Dawn government comes into power and says, hey, let's work. To get that money, you've got to work for it. Go to school, learn some skills within a short period of time, and get the money. After this period of time, you're gonna make so much money. It's quite important. And Your Honorable, you said that you hope that with the prospective trade schools that are gonna spring up in your constituency, probably it's gonna change the mindset of the populace there. That wouldn't be enough. Already, sir, I believe Zambia has got, even SHESEKE itself, a stretch of non-governmental organizations that are already offering certain skills programs. Go into partnerships with them and let them get started. They are already been, offering such kind of skills program as you by the side, building up the trade schools, which of course may take probably, a couple of years. Sign contracts with private, communities or NGOs, train our students or our communities in such areas. So that's the contribution. In conclusion on this one, sensitization, communities in smaller portions. Chimwemwe, we are going to meet at Chimwemwe Primary School. Age group from those who stopped in grade 7, maybe to a certain level, you address them. Those from grade 9 to maybe grade 11, grade 12 to this, because they have got, all the people have got different mentalities. I want to tell you something, sir, as I conclude. Germany, where we seated here, there is free education, okay? But like you said, the government pays for anybody, whether you're a native German, you are a foreigner, just came in here, as long as you've got step permits and everything, you're gonna pay, for instance, $100 or €100 per semester of 6 months. Bachelor, master's, PhD even. Now, despite that, would you believe that there's a threat in Deutschland here that in the decades to come, yeah, there would be no Germans obtaining bachelor or master or PhD, but foreigners, because themselves, they don't see the importance of investing so much. They want to do some skills or trades and kind of thing. And now the government, the chancellors, they are here, the importance of doing by master investment in the legal in Deutschland.
Wow. Wonderful.
So that's what I can say, sir.
Wonderful. Yes, wonderful. I tell you, we can stay here until dawn. It's very wonderful. Unfortunately, the time is slowly running out. But before we close over, I want you people to ask questions to Honorable Kangombe and the President of Chamber of Commerce and Industry. They are here tonight. You ask them questions. But before that, I just want to introduce you to another passionate person who is doing something in Zambia. Please just stay and watch and see what is coming.
Hi, Shimon Dubuchano, now in Denmark. I was invited here by ZAMBIA, which is an international business platform with a mission to help develop Zambian economy. And of course, in collaboration with European companies, municipalities, governments, entrepreneurs. Wow, so it's the first time I'm experiencing such kind of weather. Everything is the first time here. It's the first time I'm seeing the sea. It's the first time I'm coming to Denmark. And Denmark is a beautiful country. It is the first time I'm seeing a nation without leader. Zambia to post a so anyhow, here litter is actually recycled, sorted accordingly, plastic to plastic, plant to plant. Whatever cannot be recycled here is burned down. Not the kind of burning that you're thinking of that pollutes the air. It's a burning whereby they transform into energy, which energy they use to warm up their houses. As you know here, it is very, very cold. There's one thing I've liked here in Denmark. The Danish people, they work together for a better solution for everyone. If I remember correctly, back home, our first president, Dr. Kenneth Kaunda's motto was one Zambia, one nation. That's the same thing, working together like the Danish do. Are you a company, an entrepreneur, a municipality, government? Please connect with ZAMNORDIC. Let's work together and help each other to have a future, a better future for Zambia.
Wow, 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 wow. Beautiful, wonderful. Yes. So that is ZAMNORDIC. Dr. Lawrence, sir, you are here with us. This is awesome, isn't it? Maybe you can comment on that before others can come back and ask you questions.
It's very exciting to note that we do have Zambians who have gone out in the diaspora and are looking at how best they can work towards contributing what we need here. As we take up our position as being a regional player, there's a lot of things that are needed, and every Zambian has to take responsibility. What ZAMNORDIC has done is actually facilitated for us to improve in our environmental management processes, because when you look at it, if you are developing a city, a community, one of the greatest challenges you have is on your waste management, and this is one area that they've gone through to try and make work. We need to make our cities green, we need to make our cities beautiful, and each one of you has a place to play in this. I looked and I listened to the element where we were talking about educational development, community, and that's very important. But along education, where we are from the business community, we've asked our academia to relook at the school curriculum so that it's actually skills based, that we're able to teach people to go out and be innovative, use their hands together with their brain. We find that you sitting there in the diaspora in Germany, I'm very, very much aware of the processes which Germany actually uses in order to ensure that they do develop a very skilled community. Honorable Kangombe's area is one of the most unique places. That's, sir, if I'm selling your area for you, that's one of the few places that is actually bordered by 4 countries, and they have the opportunity of being a feeder base. We need to ensure that we hold hands with him to make sure that something happens. Namibia, Angola, and Botswana actually need to work we need to work very closely, because there are agricultural opportunities, and we need skills development in agro-based services. The Honorable MP will be able to tell you that. That's why even as the schools are coming up, we've got farming blocks in that area. We need to use those. So bring your dollars in your back pocket and bring them out to help us here. We just don't want to be developing dependent on CDF. We need to be ensuring that we ourselves are the ones are investing. So let's take up this. We are making a clarion call to you to come and join us in our areas. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much for that articulation. So much insight there. I think we are learning a lot from all walks of life, and this is really, really awesome. I'll open the floor now, please, so that we can interact, and we ask the Honorable if you have any questions. I'll start with the Vice Chair. Vice Chair, please, if you can come on board and you can ask your question.
Thank you very much, Chair. Good evening, Honorable.
Good evening, Madam.
Thank you very much for coming on our program this evening. I have a question, which is also probably, well, I came in late. First, I must excuse myself for coming in late. I was working and then I forgot my phone. Anyway, here I am. But I don't know whether this has already been tackled, but I just wanted to find out regarding the youth apathy towards CDF. I don't know whether it is lack of understanding or because we were used to handouts, which requires mindset change. But my question is, has government or can government come up with initiative projects for the people so that they already know that at the end of this training, this is what we are going to do? Or the government initiate certain projects so that the youths come on board, because what they are really looking for are jobs. So from this CDF, probably if you were to start a project, say, you know, a small productive factory, you know, that is you know, producing something that the youth are able can be employed in that small factory, you know. Isn't that possible that the government starts an initiative, since the people, I think sometimes they have no ideas or they've run out of ideas because there's just fishing. I see a lot of fishing. You see a lot of people doing chicken rearing and all these things. But I think if we're going to be, you know, making finished products, for example, cheese, for example, we have no cheese in Zambia, although we have a lot of milk, you know. If we initiated a factory where people are producing cheese, they are supplying somewhere, then would be employing. So is it possible for government to start initiatives for the people? Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I just want to correct you that we have cheese in Zambia.
Cheese factory.
You need to come back home. You know, we have beef, we have Parmalat. Now there's plenty of cheese. Now, I want to now respond to your question comprehensively. The government coming up with deliberate policies to have these factories and the like, that is a good idea. But of course, we need a private sector. Okay, we need a lot of private sector like yourselves. Of course, you come and invest back home. Now, I want to speak a little bit to grants as well as loans and CEEC. Okay, when you look at the guidelines with regards to grants, it's an amount from one kwacha, 15 ngwe, to 40,000 kwacha, which is not quite enough for you to set up a factory. That is on grants, because we know that this money is not going to be paid back. Now, we have a component of loans where you can get a reasonable amount of money and invest into a viable business that will be able to give you quite enormous returns. So what the government is trying to do is to, you know, it's an onion kind of formula. You know, onion has got a lot of layers.
Yeah.
Depending with our intelligent quotient and depending with our ability to do business, we can access these funds with what we are able to do. If you cannot handle big sums of money, of course, you go for a small amount of money, grants and the like. And unfortunately, that's how life is. Not everyone is, you know, is able to go for a bigger, you know, a bigger bite. But now, your question is also very important in the sense that it speaks to, you know, value addition in terms of the products that we do. Even the people that do chicken rearing as well as goat farming, and whether it's gardening and the like, they need packaging. For them to do packaging, of course, they need the kind of investment that will, you see them buying these machineries that will be able to package their products. That can still be done. It can still be done through accessing the loan facility under CDF. It can still be done through accessing the loan through CEEC, where you can go up to about 1.5 million, up to 3 million kwacha. But the biggest issue that I'll still speak to is the issue of mindset transformation. And I'm happy the second previous speaker spoke a little bit to it, that we need much of mindset transformation. And I have started that with my people in the constituents. Okay, before we opened Parliament, I had an interaction at the CBD, and I was speaking to the same subject, that if only we could realize the opportunity that we have under this new administration, then we'll do so much with the little resources as perceived that this government is offering, because we have the money under CEC, we have the money under CDF in terms of loans that we can buy these equipments, machineries, be it juice makers, we can buy the equipment. And of course, instead of wasting the mango that we largely, produce in Western Province, we can do mango juice. But we can only do that if we have these equipments, if we have people that can, be able to write good business plans and be able to, to access these resources. Yes. So the government, through these initiatives that have been put across, is able to do that through the citizenry accessing the money and setting up these plans. It may not necessarily need the government to do that, but it can be done through citizenry by way of accessing these funds. So we still come back to the issue of mindset transformation. Our people were used to short benefits. They were not used to long-term benefits, being futuristic in our investment. If only they could realize that, the time has changed. If you are to set up a viable business, definitely you need to be patient. You cannot just set up a business today and start, getting returns of billions and so on and so forth. It's a gradual process. You need to learn the ropes. You need to have patience. You need to gradually graduate from one step to another. So the biggest issue is mindset transformation. And speaking for specifically to my constituents, I have a program this August that is solely bordering on mindset transformation, because I come from a corporate world, and seeing how, especially the youths, who unfortunately the government cannot absorb every youth, but these youths can also be able to employ others by way of doing business, by way of setting up this, like the example you've given, the factory. But if these youths do not have the business acumen, do not have the financial literacy, then we'll have a problem. Even as they access the loans, they wouldn't be able to pay them back. So it's a challenge that not just as us as parliamentarians are supposed to undertake, but the entire government and the civil society organization, to ensure that we go on a program of mindset transformation, which is more sustainable than tantaming. I thank you.
Can I just make a follow-up question, Honorable?
Please.
Yes, and that concerns the investors that are coming to our country. How are we protecting our people from these investors that are coming and investing in low-hanging investment opportunities? I'm talking about investment like in chicken rearing. I think that should be reserved for the people of Zambia. I have seen investors come and invest in, what do they call those, freeze-its? Yeah, freeze-its. Those things that should be for the local people. How are we protecting our citizenry from such, so that when the investors come, they don't go for such, but those things are reserved? Because we are looking at a citizenry that is at its infancy. in terms of investment and business acumen. So how far or how are we protecting our citizenry from such? Thank you.
I wouldn't say I know of any, or if I know, of course, I wouldn't say I know based on facts, because I may not have the facts. But we have my senior man here, Mr. Lawrence, is it the president of Chamber of Commerce, who I interacted with a few days ago, because we are interrogating a very crucial bill that is coming and speaking to the same issue of investment and the like. The threshold that the government requires for you to come as an investor, if I'm very specific and accurate, it's about not less than $120,000 US. So when you look at that money, it's not a small amount of money to invest in freezits and chicken, rearing. But of course, due to corruption, I would say corruption will never end. It may be there even now. And fortunately, the president doesn't love corruption. Just like I don't appreciate it, because it robs off the benefits from the citizenry. We may have people that steal that, but the requirement that the government has put as a checklist in ensuring that the investor brings in substantial amount of money and invest is there with the Ministry of Home Affairs through the immigration. As you come and apply for investment permit, they have to see the amount of money that you are coming in the country with, and it shouldn't be less than 120 or 150,000 US dollars. Okay, so that's one single that should be able to protect the citizenry from these so-called foreign investors that are coming to invest in the country and end up investing in the kind of business that can be done by the local people. I hope I've answered your question.
Yes, sir, you have, except the reality on the ground is different.
That's why I'm saying, unfortunately, it could be there due to, of course, that can only be necessitated by corruption. But the government has put in measures for you to qualify as an investor, a foreign investor. You need to bring in money worth $120,000 to $150,000 and above, not less than that. Failure to which you come in maybe on work permit, not as an investor. As an investor, you need that amount of money.
Wow. Thank you so much, sir, for that. I'll just, before maybe we move on to someone else, the president of Chamber of Commerce, it is his area. Maybe he can help us. There was a question here. How can the local business community be protected from foreign investors who come with huge sums of money? What has the government done? I know there are things like private-public partnership that the president initiated himself. Maybe, sir, you can shed more light on those areas. The president of Chamber of Commerce, sir.
Right. First and foremost, each district in the country has a chamber of commerce that works actually, and also what we call the district business community. They work closely with the different government organs to ensure that the kind of businesses that are reserved predominantly for Zambians are actually being adhered to. In the recent past, there has been a cry out to the manner in which a number of foreigners have actually, despite government trying to put things in place. They've actually gone out and taken up businesses which are the actual preserve of Zambians. So what we've done, we've been approaching the Ministry of Commerce to ensure that at the place of registration, which is PACRA, even with the Zambia Public Procurement Authority, that we only have businesses for Zambians registered by Zambians, and then foreigners come in at a certain level. Now, what happens also is that it means that the procurement of goods and services in the country also needs to follow a certain tender and system, which means that you and I, as Zambians, need to take a responsibility of superintending our own business environment. To be sitting on the sidewalk and saying businesses are being taken up by foreigners is very unfortunate, because what's happening is that we Zambians ourselves are actually selling off our contracts. We're selling off the business opportunities to these foreigners, and we're doing things just to earn money. We're not taking responsibility for that which we really need. And that's a major challenge, because even if we have our investment codes and whatnot coming into place, you will still find that it's us Zambians who are giving open door for the foreigners to come in. I think, Honorable, you'll bear with me when we say that we've found situations in Kamwala, at Kamwala Market, where Chinese have been seen selling in Shima, in some way even in Long Acres, and that's predominantly for a Zambian. But you find when you go investigate, they're operating under a Zambian license, and you find out how is that possible? We are selling ourselves out. We are giving the space to these people. So no matter what we try to do, so we need to have a law which says if a Zambian is seen to be doing this, if that license has been given to someone, they automatically lose it, and it is a punitive thing. We need to police ourselves. How is Dubai doing that? How are they managing to take care, or even the citizen programs that take place in South Africa and Botswana, in Swaziland? We need to be able to do that in our own place and ensure that we're protecting our own people. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much, sir, for that insight. I think it was really helpful. We should not let this for foreigners or for those who want to do dubious businesses. I think that's where we're coming from. Sir, Honorable Kangombe, I was listening to the Minister of Tourism very recent. I think last week he had a press conference, and he said something very wonderful concerning to what we are discussing right now. He said that the government has put aside 100 million for Zambians to invest in tourism. No foreigner. So you can go, whether you are building a hospitality in a national park, or you want to do safari, whatever you think. You remember those days of Sungulila, yeah? Those are in my age. You can, the real Zambians, Zambia, the real Africa. You remember those days, yeah? So it's really true. The government is putting every effort, but if you want to tango, it takes two. So the others, they have to come in and pray their law, because without them being active, the government alone cannot take it. And that's why the president actually emphasized that let's form a private-public forum. It's there, you can register, and you can become a member. Even here, Mr. Lawrence can testify that there is open in the Chamber of Commerce. If you have a business of any kind, you can register with them. So you will be receiving, you are connected, you are networking. All these things, we need them because they are going to help us. So I will move on. Let me get one more lady. But Joyce, any question before Jan comes in?
Oh, okay.
You want to, but Joyce, okay, just give Joyce a chance before you come in. Okay, I can see her. Okay, sir, you can come in. You can come in now.
Okay, thank you. I was just, good evening, everyone. I was just wondering, talking about this work permit and thing. There are some basic things which are very difficult for if you want to come in and apply for a work permit in Zambia. I've been trying the last 3 months to get in touch with immigration. It is very, very difficult, actually impossible for me to get in touch or contact or through e-services apply for a work permit. For one thing, the format that files are uploaded is not PDF like usual documents are uploaded, but only in picture format, JPG and PNG, which makes it very difficult because the size is limited to 1 megabyte. But if you want to make a picture of all the documents that are needed to apply for work permit, it will be bigger than 1 megabyte. And again, JPG files are not suitable for these documents and letters that are needed to apply. So there's one thing of which is very difficult to do. So we have to start working in Zambia. Actually, we're flying there next week from Denmark, and then we have to start going personally to the immigration with all our papers in hard copy and documents, and personally try to achieve something. But the e-services, unfortunately, they were not working, and the contact numbers, telephone numbers and addresses, and even the contact formula on the homepage did not work. And I've been trying to reach them through UISAC, through the embassy, through different channels. It is not possible. So there's a challenge, you know, if you want to attract people to Zambia on a professional basis. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jan. Jan is a passionate Zambia.
No.
Yes, wonderful. But I will refer your question to the lawmaker here. We have Honorable Kangombe. Sir, we have heard what another side of the story, that someone who want to come and invest in Zambia, the kind of problems they are facing. What is being done in that direction? I know that the government of Zambia, through the president and the Minister of Technology and Science and Technology, they went to America and approached one billionaire who said that he was going to bring faster internet. I think that's where the problem is. Where are we? Can you just give us a tip? I know it's not your area, but just a tip of it. How quickly are we going to be there that when I go online, I'm able to do everything that is required of me? Honorable, you can unmute yourself, sir.
Okay. Thank you so much. And it's unfortunate that our brother has, faced those challenges. I'll request you to give him the contact after this interaction. I just want to speak to one item.
Somehow it's like we have lost him. He's still with us here. Yeah. So Alexander, as Honorable, is still trying, maybe he has network problems. How can our colleague Jan
hear me?
Help? Yes, now we can hear you again, sir.
Yeah. I'm saying the system is pilot.
Oh, it's really very unfortunately. We see if his network will be stable again, but at least he has hold for more than an hour. Alexander, I just asked a question. What can be done there to help?
All right. The Honorable has said that he would like to get Jan's details so that he would want to follow up with what is the challenge that has been faced at the Immigration Department. I think immigration, like you said, the Ministry of Labor, through Science and Technology, they're trying to, and immigration, yes, they're trying to work at improving the system. I find it difficult for me to to give an appropriate response to Jan, because I would like to fully understand the genesis of the case, why there should be a challenge, because each application has its own merits and demerits, and we'd be able to take those cases up if we understood them. To give a blanket reply at this particular time, it's like Jan is putting a gun to my head and say, we'll do this or that. But since the Honorable Member of Parliament says he would like to follow up your case in particular, I would also be interested in knowing what's going on, because it falls under our ambit to ensure that we have proper investment opportunities. So if you would be able to give your details to Isaac, the chair, and then he can liaise with us and we'll try and solve the problem for you. We'll jointly work with a Member of Parliament in that area. 1 week, Jan, that's really pushing it. But let's see what can be done once the information is filtered to us.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. And just for the record, I would never put a gun to your head.
No, it's an expression. Indirectly, I was putting it to the chair.
Thank you. Thank you. I will give my details to Brother Isaac, and then we see. And I'm also prepared to wait a bit longer, to probably go back to Denmark again, and then come before October, September, December, eventually back. But yes, thank you very much.
Yeah, that gives proper timing for things to be followed up, because we once we've got the documentation in our hands, we'd be able to meet with them and find out what the challenge has been. Thank you, Isaac.
Wonderful. But Joyce, you have raised your hand before I can say anything.
Yeah, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. Thank you. I'm sorry I came late. I just want to add on the Jan's question, because it's only 1 week to go. I think it's better get his paper and go and give Mr. Alexandra Lawrence at his office in Lusaka.
Okay. All right, no problem. So I'll facilitate.
Isaac, let me just get this correct. Jan, you're actually in Lusaka?
I'll be in Lusaka the 5th of July.
Oh, okay. So you're still out in Denmark?
Yes, we'll be starting off here from the 4th. And I think we'll make it like that. I'll be giving Isaac everything I have, and I'll be coming also with the hard copies, and then we'll find in person in Lusaka we could meet. I think both ways.
Okay, you can get my detail. You can get my details from Isaac. Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you,
no
sir.
problem, sir. We shall.
Yeah,
we shall
I think. Yeah, what I would also need is just the the entry application for Yannick. Then I'll be able to give him a corrective position tomorrow with regards to what could be the challenges. But like Mr. Lawrence said, it's very difficult to give an indicative position as if it can be expedited tomorrow or when. You may wish to know that this single licensing system, it's on a pilot. So these are the kind of feedbacks actually that we would want to receive from the applicants such as yourself, so that we understand where the bottlenecks are, where the challenges are, and see how best we can improve the system.
Wow, thank you so much, Honorable, for that. The good thing
I'm speaking like that because I am the chairperson for tourism, energy, and of course water development. So I know that the single licensing system, it's a pilot project that we hope to improve and of course be able to replicate to the satisfaction of the applicants, such as my brother who is complaining now. Let's have the the detail, the information, and to be able to follow it up and see how best we can help you. It will be a pleasure to have you in Zambia and benefit from the expertise that you are coming with. We can only hope you are not bringing the kind of expertise that the people of SHESEKE are able to offer.
Yeah, that's wonderful, Honorable. Definitely, he's coming with something that is not on the ground. I believe so. But before that, I just want to say, Jan is a German, so no matter, I don't know if there has been changes in the laws, he can travel to Zambia and he can apply for entry visa at the airport. That is how it works. So I don't see him having any challenges and difficulties to enter into Zambia. And definitely after that, he'll knock on your offices so that he can be helped. So
Isaac, before you go further,
yes.
the entry, the non-visa requirement entries, which were offered to a number of countries, that pertains to visa entry, visitors' visa entries. But when it's now to offer professional services, then the ball game changes because you've got to put in a proper application, papers and so on. So we need to differentiate that.
Correct.
Okay, thank you so much for that correction. You have the utmost first-hand information, and Jan, you have heard how things are, so we shall forward the papers as we've said, so that we balance things. We need investors.
Thank you very much. Just one single as a last comment from me, because the most challenge in the e-system we have is that it does not accept PDF files. If we just can upload PDF files, then I think it would be easy. But just the one thing that it does not accept PDF files, the whole thing crashes for me.
Okay, all right.
That's a technical challenge which the Honourable has been talking about since we've got a pilot program on hand. So once he's got that information and sitting as the chair, he would be able to address it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. There are people who have not spoken. Quickly, let's go to Marigopo. Sir, you have been there from the beginning. We want to hear your comments. Just briefly, sir. What is your contribution?
Yes, thank you. Yeah, it's very important to listen, because I think when you listen, you take in much more than when you speak. You merely repeat what you already know. I think it's been a very interesting conversation. I would have actually loved these gentlemen to stay a little longer. Now, see, they've virtually been sharing the time. Most of us here in the sitting might not even know what the Chamber of Commerce, Trade and Industry actually does. Would have loved right from the bottom. What do they do for the nation? What exactly are their roles? How would they help in investment and so on and so on? Now, to the Member of Parliament, did I get it right that you're married to a Tonga woman?
No.
No. Then I spare you that. I would have certainly asked for a heifer. But in any case, since I'm your cousin, let me put it on record that you owe me a heifer. I'll be coming to SHESEKE, then we can talk about it properly.
I'm your father.
No, we'll debate that properly. Let's leave it for now. Accept it that I'm your father and you owe me a heifer. Anyway, thank you for giving us a glimpse into your very vast constituency. I think since many Zambians generally are not very much traveled, especially at home, there are some of us who could have been born in places as near as Livingstone, even come as far as Seychelles, as the people close there call it, But then I think to get a glimpse of that sort is really empowering. I wish you all the best, and I think going by the comments that were coming forth, you spoke and elaborated on what is happening there, it appears very good works are being done. I share in your frustration. I think that the skills grants that are being offered are not really being taken up. I know that an MP cannot really micromanage some of these things, and especially when we have a constituency as vast as yours. I propose that maybe let your councillors do town hall meetings more often, more proactive. Let them, because they are closer to the ground. let them advertise these opportunities to the youths, and let the youths who've done something be considered for such grants and so on, so that they become more or less like role models and you see their business. Because look, the period of PF truly destroyed the psyche of the nation. I know of civil servants who were actually saying, should the PF take government again after 2021 now, then I just don't see it how I'll be able to survive as a civil servant. I'll probably have to become a cadre also, because I think a PF commander is doing by far better. At the end of the day, quite honestly, we all have to put bread and butter on the tables of our households. And so, as it is now, we are still in a recovery mode. So many of our youths are really not up to the game yet. The challenge, of course, as the previous speaker, Mr. Lokomona put it, sudden that still many people still in some sort of dreamland to believe it and grasp it that it really is happening. So my first proposal would, of course, be more active and deliberate town hall meetings, and of course maybe say agricultural skills that have been selected to put up. I know SHESEKE is doing very well as far as cattle farming. So that is just one of those things, and I hope to get much more of you on this platform. And as well, we extend the invitation that should you find yourself around the region, please, even when you're on a private mission, make mention you can spend a night or two and drink my hair with us, and we can continue sharing. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much. Before anyone comes in, I just want to say that we shall have a slot for the Chamber of Commerce. We are going to bring Alexander Lawrence here so that he can explain what the Chamber of Commerce and Industry does. Because many people, they don't know. There is real road. That's a real road that they are doing.
Chair, can I answer him very briefly right now?
You can go ahead, sir.
Thank you. And remember, for talking to the Honorable like that, you owe him 3 cows and 25 white chickens. But here we go. I'm protecting him because we have now become good friends.
I take the charge and accept it fully before he appeals and then the charge gets higher. Yes.
Simply put, Chamber of Commerce is actually a network of business owners who actually come together to network with each other, help guide business legislation in their particular regions. Chambers of Commerce are independent and do not create laws or regulations ourselves, but we have great influence with legislatures, as you've seen tonight, when it comes to lobbying or advocacy. And we are therefore seen as authoritative figures in our different business landscapes. That is, in a nutshell, is what we do. It's a chamber. It's a multi-sectoral. That means whether you're in agriculture, mining, transportation, tourism, you belong to the Chamber of Commerce. The Lusaka Chamber of Commerce is literally the second oldest Chamber of Commerce in the country, but in 1933, the oldest was in Ndola. We are part of what is now the Zambia Chambers of Commerce, which is also a member of both SADC and the Commercial Business Council, who in turn, through them, we are part of the Pan-African Chambers of Commerce and directly with the International Chambers of Commerce, which is ICC, who are responsible for designing and drafting different forms of business legal documents that are used in finance, and even governments use our documents when they're dealing with things. Through the International Chambers of Commerce, we are linked to almost 170 countries, over 45 million members, as it were. And so we offer a landscape for networking, market linkages, business resource development, skills empowerment, that's capacity building. We do this. But one thing that we emphasize on is that we are independent and we are non-partisan. We do not link ourselves to any political entity. We're open-minded and try and be that as much. We also, by virtue of the work that we do, we have a seat also at the United Nations and through the Pan-African Chamber at the African Union. Then we've got the COMESA Business Council and the SADC Business Council, which we are linked to. So we try and develop, we try and work with different communities and community leaders to ensure that business has been developed, the communities get their benefits. I think in a nutshell, that's what I'll be able to say to give you an understanding. What Isaac has said, we'll have an opportunity to give you more information on that, on what we are actually doing. And very soon, I hope to meet with a number of you when we do come into Europe. I hope the Honorable MP will be with us when we do that. Thank you.
Wow, that was a compact summary of what we can sit here for hours and discuss. Thank you so much for taking time to explain that. So please, I want just to make sure that everyone speaks. Before Joyce, you come in, I saw you raising your hands. I want, Brenda has been here for a long time. Please, Brenda, if you can also ask your question.
Good evening, everyone. I'm sorry I came in late, and I think I kept on being kicked out of the meeting technically. I think something with my internet here. I don't know if it's just a comment. It's not really a question, maybe also a question. Thank you very much, Honorable, and even the speakers that have spoken before you. I worked for quite some time in the council back in the days when we used to have micro projects unit projects in the district and Zambia social investment funds. Those were really good programs at district level that benefited, also complemented government's effort to develop different constituencies. My question, or I'm still a bit in the gray area in the role of the council's planning unit in all this, because I feel they are also mandated to kind of direct development at district level, constituency level, and just give guidance to whether it's investors or donors that are coming in the country or in the district to channel development specifically to those areas of need according to the strategic plans that the districts have. And I also recognize the fact that the MPs cannot do it all. Councillors also may not really have this technical knowledge on how to go about it. I don't know whether we have a database at district level that, for instance, compiles all donor opportunity or funding opportunities and what they are actually, what their requirements are, so that, for instance, someone from the council or the same department could actually kind of trickle down the information to ward development level. By this, I'm trying to also point out that there are certain maybe technical assistance needs, yeah, that people in the communities might have. Yeah, do we have any kind of analysis or packaging of needs, technical needs that perhaps even when someone wants to come in and help, yeah, whether it's the youths having no information or having no technical know-how on how to navigate to access certain opportunities, maybe the council would be equipped to have such kind of information on their fingertips and be able to redirect guidance or references where it's needed. I don't know whether I'm clear, but for me, it's just all cloudy in terms of exactly the capacity. Do we have the capacity at district level in the councils? Yeah, they are mandated to help us in constituencies, districts, they are non-partisan as well. And do we have the capacity of officers to actually take up such tasks to complement the work of the councillors and MPs?
Wow, thank you so much. The Honorable, unfortunately, he has dropped. Maybe has internet challenges, you know, but Alexander Lawrence is still with us. He can answer that.
Yes.
He's interacting with
yes.
communists, so he's well versed with it.
Brenda, put a smile on your face. You forgot to even greet or acknowledge me in your salutation. So, you know, like
Oh,
my brother.
my apologies.
Yeah. All right. I want to say this, and I want to say it very emphatically. What has happened in the past, and I tend to like the devolution, the decentralization program that has come about now, because before we had what we call a prescriptive approach towards development in different constituencies and districts. And this is why we find that we've ended a lot of white elephants, because ownership of programs, ownership of projects has not been taken nor understood by the communities. What has happened in the recent past, and I think you need to celebrate what is really happening, is that from central government, the different ministries, people are now being moved out of Lusaka into the various districts to the different provinces in the country, so that assistance is given, technical support is given at council, and through the councils and through the district admin officers to the different wards, the different constituencies, and the different zones. So there's capacity building that is actually starting to evolve. Government has its way of looking at what it perceives would be its developmental projects, its developmental programs. But what is happening also is that government has also seen that if people at zone, ward and district levels are able to take ownership by saying what they feel they need as their projects. So what it is that it's no longer a prescriptive approach towards development, but a diagnostic approach. What do you need in, for instance, in SHESEKE, in the Sioma area, or whichever? So, you know, because if we say that one size fits all, you'll never get everything, but each place is now being looked in at its individual level. And don't forget that these zones, these wards, these districts have people that have gone to, for instance, Brenda, you're sitting there. I don't know if it's in Germany, Denmark, or Switzerland, but you're sitting somewhere there. You originate from a place here in Zambia. You originate from a district. So with that, the expertise or the exposure that you've got over the years being that side, when you come home once in a while or engage with us on this thing, you're able to offer your resource support services to those people who are on the ground. So it's a two-way approach, no longer a top-heavy downwards, but it's now from the bottom going up and from the top coming down. We engage together and begin to see it. Chair, allow me to correct something as well. No longer is it government that's initiating projects, it's the community initiating projects in support with councils. And then whatever project council has, they come and sit with the communities and begin to speak. Information has been disseminated to the youth, but they have also been slow on the uptake because they've not fully understood the opportunities. Remember, there's a paradigm shift in the way we've been approaching things. It's only 17 months since a number of things have come in. So it will take time, but each one of us needs to hold each other's hands and begin to walk with each other to see what we can do. To say government will do this or the community will do this won't work as long as we can come together. And there are platforms for engagement if there's no real sense of accountability, like the chair alluded to. We now have the public-private dialogue forum, through which if we don't see any form of activity and something is brought to our table, we go straight to them, ask them why this thing is not done, and the accounting officer is brought to book to whether it's the PS, a minister, or a director, or a driver, is brought before the PPDF and is given a certain time frame within which he needs to give a response and act. And for us also, we go back and say what has happened, what do we do? And there's M&E now that has come in, monitoring and evaluation on everything. And that's why people now are having difficulty with this thing of being accountable for what is entrusted to them. I submit, Chair.
Wow, wow, what a great insight. And we are still privileged. And I know our guest today, he's down to earth. He has stayed with us now almost close to 2 hours. And this is awesome. So I don't want to leave anyone out. Mr. Komona, sir, I know you spoke, but do you still have any question you want to direct to Mr. Alexander or to the Honorable himself?
Thank you so much, Chair, and thank you so much, Mr. Alexander, for that great insight. Anyway, I feel sorry for our great Honorable Kangombe. Just a short one. Honorable, maybe probably this could be answered at a later stage through Mr. Isaac Mulongo, our chair here, looking at time. My passion is international collaborations. Does your constituency or region cooperate with some international organizations from some developed countries? Why do I say this? People say that, no, Africa for Africans, we can build ourselves, but look at this. I've always said this. Okay, we are just rebuilding our economy. It's like you want to write grade 12 final exams, then you go to a grade 9 to ask for some tuitions and kind of stuff. I presume when we partner with the international corporations, they've got the equipment, like you said earlier on, equipment and taking for a certain period of time, then we can run on our own. Do you have some collaborations? I can see, for instance, here, our great Danish, we've interacted before, beautiful programs, projects. How much have you cooperated? Then the other thing that we so much ask here in diaspora, Mr. Alexander says, you bring your dollars, you people in diaspora, but the thing is, those dollars can come through when there's such kind of a structure to embrace people in diaspora. I may not have those dollars, but I may have contacts, huge contacts to people who would love to come and partner, non-slavery partnerships, but to bring in development into our country. So do you have such kind of a deliberate policy? Lastly, there's what is called, like, for instance, Germany follows, and most of the European countries, like city partnerships, regional partnerships. SHESEKE partners with Hamburg. SHESEKE partners with Munich, Frankfurt. Eventually, you'll be able to gain quite a lot out of such kind of partnerships. Have you thought of such areas, sir? That's my question.
Thank you so much. I'll be very straight to the point. Definitely we do that. You know, SHESEKE, and speaking for Zambia, does that. Just hold on. Okay. Yeah, I'll tell you that the Danish, we have in SHESEKE a very big sort of like a skill training that was initiated by the Danish people in a word called Nakatindi word. Okay, which immediately after they were done with whatever they were doing in SHESEKE, they were constructing the current Yeta hospital. They brought in equipments for value addition. Those equipments are carpentry equipments, and those equipments are benefiting the community now through the help of a man by the name of Mata Ilitonga. This is just one of the examples to show that definitely the people of SHESEKE embrace partnership. Not just that, I can tell you that SHESEKE has received a number of investors ever since the new administration came in power. SHESEKE is the only place in Zambia that has got the highest radiation. And not just is it sitting on the, at the border of Zambia and Angola, but it's also a potential point for export point in terms of feeding the southern power pool. So far we've had quite a number of investors that are actually willing to come and invest into renewable energy and feed in the main grid, and subsequently be able to export power to Namibia and Angola, because SHESEKE is the export point of power to Namibia. So, in answering your question, yes, we do embrace partnership. And another example that is what a lot of people unfortunately are saying it's not viable, and so on and so forth. The PPP arrangement, the private partnership, which fortunately, speaking for the people of SHESEKE, together with the local authority, we've been searching for investors that are willing to come and do a PPP kind of projects in SHESEKE. Earlier on, I said the youths are standing knee deep in the river but dying of thirst. Yes, even the entire district, the entire district of SHESEKE is standing knee deep in the river and dying of thirst, in the sense that the only shopping point that we have for the people of SHESEKE, for the people of Mandi, for the people of Mulobezi, is Namibia. That's where we can be able to access ShopRite and other chain stores. So we are looking at investors that are able to come and put up a piece of infrastructure, and maybe we can have a mall in SHESEKE. The land, we have the piece of land. We can lease the land. We can go on an agreement. So in answering your question, definitely, the people of SHESEKE are willing for people to bring dollars and partner with. I hope I've answered your question.
Awesome, Honorable. You've really answered it so well. Congratulations, Honorable, for such stride.
Yeah.
May I just add to the Honorable's comments?
You can go ahead, sir.
Yes, there is a drive towards collaboration between districts at local level and international level, because that collaboration then provides for skills transfer, developmental processes to take place. Again, singing a song for the Honorable in SHESEKE, right now SHESEKE can actually serve as a feeder point in the region servicing. I tried to make mention of it, but I think it skipped people's attention, that you could serve as he spoke just as the shopping complexes, but what I would want to be able to sell the idea to my brothers and sisters abroad is the fact that SHESEKE has the potential to feed into eastern Namibia, eastern Namibia and the northern part of Namibia, as well as eastern Angola, where there's a demand for their food, onions, tomatoes, even some of the fish. SHESEKE has the potential to supply. Under the Namibia-Zambia Joint Permanent Commission, there was a drive, Honorable, you can bear with me on that there was an agri-processing center to be established between Namibia and Zambia, just a couple of kilometers from Katimamlilo. Now, there hasn't been that uptake because ZDA could not spur that thing very much. So, Isaac, that's an opportunity for you and Joyce and Brenda to look for the dollars and bring it and set up that thing so that the people of SHESEKE, as they are learning agricultural development processes, the whole value chain, they are actually feeding, not just building a ShopRite, but providing food services to ShopRite and these other areas, because also they want the lifestyle and whatnot. The tourism opportunities that exist in that place are enormous, but it needs to be capitalized. He did make mention that it's part of the central point of the Southern Africa Power Pool. It has a huge opportunity, and we need partnerships from your end Come home and take this up. You see, when the president did the diaspora conference with you in August, he gave an opportunity for you to bring in money into the country. You may not have it in your pocket, but you have the exposure, the link to it. It is your responsibility. This is your season. This is your time to come and develop the region. It's an opportunity that you cannot afford to miss. Thank you.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much. I think we have really been fed today. And diaspora, you have heard, you have been challenged. It's time for you to get organized, collaborate so that we can get those dollars. If you know an investor, you know anyone who has that potential, please, here are the connections and let's take them back home. That's what the president is doing. What did he say? He said he's the marketing manager of the Republic of Zambia, and he's really marketing. So we can emulate him and follow him, what he's doing, and do our best and supplement government efforts. Because if you can do that, I'm telling you, Zambia will not be the same. It will be not the same Zambia that we have. I just want to thank you, Honorable Kangombe. I hope he's still there. I don't see him anymore. Unfortunately, we have lost him again, and maybe challenges of internet. Maybe we wait for him the next 2 minutes. As I'm talking, I want to bring in Jean. Jean is our mobilization director. Jean, good evening.
Good evening, viewers. Good evening, Chair. I've been following, and I just want to say congratulations to our UPND party leaders working hard in the government. We have achieved a lot, very, very much. We were in France. We as our president, as he is the marketing manager of our country, he has really achieved a lot. And with our minister, Mr. Kangombe, I just want to say thank you, and may you please continue doing the job you are doing at best. We are your backbone. Make sure you do it at your level best. We are actually on the right track. We thank God for everything that things are moving well in our country. We have the peace that we were looking for. Investors can go freely home, work hard, and do their investment at home. Zambia is now a free country that anybody can go into. There's security, there's privacy, there's everything that we were looking for. So I give an applause to UPND and for our minister. Thank you so much, and may God bless you.
Jean, I want us to conclude, but before we cannot just go. I want to show you how beautiful Zambia is, how peaceful Zambia is. Just take 2 minutes, please, and watch what I'm going to bring up for you here.
We are happy and we want to praise God for giving us a president now. A president, a listening president, a hardworking president. We welcome you here in Southern Province as a country at large. We are celebrating as a country. We want to thank God for giving you good health, for giving you courage. Mr. President, this what you have done is history that you never ever forgotten in this country. Today, you are going to smile to all people of this country. We are so happy that today we have come here to meet you. Your place are proud. I want to say thank you very much for your trust, for your patience, for carrying the pain. That I can confidently tell you that we are going in the right direction. $6.3 billion of that debt effectively is now what we can call in line with our agenda strategy. It calls for some sense of happiness. And thank you to all of you. Thank you very much.
Wow. Okay, that was the welcoming of the president of Zambia as he came back from Paris with a huge, heavy package. And you can hear him, he's also very excited, and you can see every Zambia very, very excited. I had wished the Honorable is here, I would have asked him one question, but unfortunately he's not here. I'll just ask us maybe to close. Linda, you said you had no question, but I just want to give everyone maybe just 1 minute as we close. Starting with Bayan, you have raised up your hand, please.
Thank you. I just want to make sure I mention this one. I always mention it in the platforms I am concerning Zambia. We had this week 3 funerals back home in Zambia due to cancer, and you all know the problem. What we know is that the burning of plastic waste, the open burning of plastic waste, is causing a cancer epidemic. So what we've been trying to do the last 10, 14 years in Zambia is to educate people on grassroots level to please stop burning plastic waste, because that is poisoning you and your country and everything. So we're killing ourselves. This is crazy. And of course, we're working on infrastructure, waste management, because what can we do with the plastic if we don't burn it? But I just want to give this warning, heartfelt, please tell your friends, tell your neighbors, if you see somebody burning plastic in the streets, educate them. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I will just be rushing now because of time. I believe you are all working tomorrow again. We have shoot our time. But Jean, please, just your last word. Jean, your last words?
Yeah, thank you so much, Chair. And yeah, I thank everyone on board. May God bless you. May we continue working together as we are helping our country to move forward. God bless everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. Linda?
Good evening, everybody. All protocols observed. Thank you so much for the discussion for today. We've learned a lot. But just one thing I would want to point out, just like my fellow participants have said, why don't we utilize this CDF money in empowering youths by setting up projects instead of every time like you support this group or writing project proposals? If in each and every constituency we can put up to say maybe the men, they can learn how to carpentry, or others they can learn welding. At least in future they can get some jobs somewhere because they have skills, than just focusing maybe on project proposals in a group and then it goes. Because let's not forget that to say imiti kula empanga, And my youths are our future leaders. As us, we are growing old, and they are the next generation to pick up from us. Otherwise, thank you so much. I really appreciate everybody for being with us.
Wonderful, wonderful. Bye, Joyce. You are muted.
Yeah. Yes. Good evening, everybody. But unfortunately, the honorable is out. But I will say this to Mr. Alexander, because also all of you, I just want to mention that ZAMNordic is having a conference on 2nd September here in Denmark. So you are welcome. They will send the information and the advertisement to Mr. Isaac, so all of you can have it. We really want to see you people, because we are going to have lots of companies who are interested to invest in Zambia. So it could be nice if you come for networking, or if you have a project, you can just send to us, to ZAMNordic, because I work with ZAMNordic as a social business advisor. So we can look at it, and then we can link you to which company you really fit with your project, so you can talk to them. And then the last I want to say to Mr. Alexandra, I'm hoping that you are coming, because we really want you to see you in Denmark. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. The Honorable has just joined us, so you can speak to him again so that you hear the message. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Good evening, the Honorable. I'm Joyce from ZAMNordic. Actually, we learn a lot of things, but I won't say it now. I'll focus only on ZAMNordic. The video you saw, I work as a social business advisor in ZAMNordic, but on 22nd of September, we are having a conference where we are inviting municipalities and the companies from Zambia and the government itself. So the Chirabombwe mayors are coming here, and we are hoping to see also Chingola and Mufrira. So if you are willing to come to meet the investors face to face, you can come up with your own project and your challenges you are facing in your city, and then we can link you out to these business people here who really wants to invest in Zambia. But Mr. Alexandra knows about it. Maybe you can talk together with him. He can explain more about that. That's the message I was just giving, that you are welcome. Look at ZAMNordic website and you can register there, and we will welcome you here in Denmark. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I hope we have not lost anybody. Brenda, have you already spoken?
I think I spoke, but maybe nothing much, just to appreciate also the conversations around the various developments back in the country. And for me, honestly, to both the MP and the Chamber of Commerce, did I get it right before he gets me again? Is that we are extending our hand of cooperation, yeah? For instance, I won't say much here, but we were involved in the CEC solar plant on the Copper Belt. So they're definitely investors that we can work together in terms of solar plant interests, because I think they got frustrated in the previous regime. But looking at the conducive environment that is there now, there's need to rekindle some of these partnerships which were lost previously, and we can still chat on the sides. And please feel free to get in touch, and we see how we can get connected to solar companies or investors that have interest to develop.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
I won't talk much, but let's chat on the sidelines.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Why don't you ask me? Because I have the solar program.
No, because we have a footprint. Yeah, we work with Gantt, we worked with the Copper Belt Energy Corporation. So there's a footprint that was there before.
Wonderful.
And yeah, let's see how we can forge ahead and
Yes,
taking
wonderful.
advantage of the conducive environment that is available
Yes,
right now.
Yeah, could you share my contact details with Brenda? I would like to be able to speak to her.
Yes,
I
sure.
won't charge her any cows or anything, just to
Yeah, I'm
converse.
the one who's supposed to charge you actually, because you benefit more from me.
Okay.
No problem.
That would
We'll
be
do that.
great. Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, those who have contributed. We will not leave anyone out. Then we have Mr. Komona as well. Please, your last words.
Under 1 minute, thank you so much. Platform protocol observed, and thank you so much, Alexander. I'm learning so much from you, and thank you so much, Honorable. And my only word is out, especially to the youth. Please go out there, knock on the relevant doors. CDF is there, other grants, fundings, and stuff. Do not dwell and live on hearsays. Okay, do it yourself, and life is going to be different. And please sign up on skills courses so that when you are helped, you'll be able to sustain your projects. Whichever the direction, like proposals have been made here, the CDF is going to carry, you need knowledge. Knowledge is power. Thank you so much. And finally, thank you so much to His Excellency HH7 and team for the great works that Zambia suffered for quite a long time. It's today that we sing heaven on earth coming down to Zambia. Keep it up. Thank you so much.
Wow, thank you so much. Before we go, actually, I'd say that I wanted to ask the minister, the MP, a question. I wanted to know if he has beneficiaries of NAPSA in his constituents, because that is one great thing that also has happened to Zambians. You can imagine many people have died without even accessing their hard-earned money. But here we are, we have a president, we have a government coming up with such an initiative whereby even the Western world, they are wondering because they don't have it, most of them in that form. Yeah, so thank you so much. I'll go straight to Alexander. Please, you can give us your last word before the vice chair comes in.
Okay. Chair, answering on behalf of the MP, there are people in his constituency who have accessed NAPSA funds. I just want to thank each one of you for having afforded us the opportunity to, I think, put it better to have fellowship to share what our hopes and aspirations for our great country is. One thing I want you to know, that you come from the most blessed, the most significant country in the whole world, and you have a responsibility to be part and parcel of the developments that are taking place in the country. Should anything go wrong in Zambia, you and I will be the ones to blame, because Zambia is the most peaceful region, and it's really necessary for it to export the peace by ensuring that it develops. Remember, Isaac, that Zambia is the only country in the world that is surrounded by 13 countries. A lot of you know that it's only 8, but it's 13 countries, being the cauldron of SADC, COMESA, and the East African Community, and now the Greater African Continental Free Trade Area. What it means is that directly through its linkage of 13 countries, Zambia has then got a market population of somewhere around 750 million to 800 plus, going towards 900 million. That means you and I have an opportunity to develop our Zambian people in health, education, tourism, mining, agriculture, transportation, fintech, waste management, environmental management, which is my passion, the waste management issues. Now, for those of you who are questioning my 13 countries, I'd like to show you Angola, Namibia, Botswana, Zimbabwe, Mozambique, Malawi, Tanzania, And then, because of the Great Lakes, Great Lake Tanganyika, we have Burundi and Rwanda. But further down south, we have South Africa, South Africa, Swaziland, and Lesotho. That gives us 13 countries. And day before yesterday, I was corrected to say, no, I've got to also start thinking of Kenya and Uganda, which gives us 15 countries, because these are all dependent, now becoming dependent on what you and I have to offer. We've become a regional educational center, we've become a health center, we've become the grain basket of the region, and we need to empower people to even realize their full potential. This is what we'll be sharing when I meet with Joyce once we do meet in Denmark. Thank you, and God bless you all for listening.
Thank you.
Awesome. You have heard for yourself. We have 13 nations surrounding us. What a privilege is that. That means we are a linked country, and that means there is just a lot. And as you know, Zambia holds 40% of the waters in Southern Africa. So we have a lot of potential. We have the sun, we have land. And even people, they are complaining about land that the foreigners have taken it. Me, I was in Zambia. There's still bush, there's a lot of bush still there. So I would just say, I give chance to my vice chair also to say his last words as we are closing. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, Chair. Good evening once again. I would like to thank our Honorable MP for staying this long. Thank you also to the Chamber of Commerce President. Thank you so much for appearing. I would like to just urge our people in Zambia, the youth as well, that we should take advantage of the opportunities that the government is creating for us to access these funds. Some monies are actually grants, which is a good thing for those that are not I don't think that it can be. We were used to these handouts. So I'm not saying that this is a handout, but I'm saying that there are monies that you can be able to access and start a small business on the side. We have free education. Let's take advantage of that. So if you are not able to go to school because there were fees, please take advantage of this opportunity. Go back to school, learn a skill, then get a grant or a loan and start a business. I don't think that it can get better than that. So we really thank you, Honorable MP, for explaining to us, for enlightening what the SHESEKE is all about. I was actually at the SHESEKE Secondary School once upon a time, so I'm quite convinced that with the area. Thank you, Chamber of Commerce President, also for your input. We have learned a lot. We hope to feature you one day so that you can take us through in detail. Thank you, everyone. And I would also like to appeal to our viewers. Please follow us on our Facebook page, like our page. We are also on Instagram and Twitter. Good evening, everyone. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much. I think everything has been said. It has been really wonderful. Please, this is networking. So don't just go back and remain the same. I think you have been transformed. You are connected to people who are sitting right. Alexander has access to all ministries. So there is a very big potential, him alone, and and his expertise, and I would add what we share in passion. We are so spiritual person. He loves God so much. So you are dealing with an honesty person with a lot of integrity. And we are so excited to have such people. And I think if Zambia can have such people in various positions, our country will never go back what it was one and a half years ago. It will completely be transformed and be changed. I wanted to close, but Linda, you raised your hand.
Sorry, people. What about us who are in the diaspora? Are we not going to benefit from this partial withdrawal? Why can the government introduce where, sorry, the diaspora can also be contributing so that so that at one time we can also be withdrawing that partial.
Okay, no, that's a good idea, but we maybe let's reserve it for another time so that we bring a NAPSA expert, because I believe NAPSA is for every Zambian. Maybe there are just few requirements that you need to do and be able to be contributing. It's really a good idea. So we'll take it. But Alexander is here, has it. We'll reach out to those who are, have the authority, who are decision makers, and we see how that thing can be brought to reality. I mean, ideas, they start like this. You add on, they started NAPSA, now it will be NAPSA for diaspora. Wonderful thing. It's really, really good. It's just like, if you don't know, sorry to mention this, if you don't know, there are insurance companies in Zambia, insurance companies, whether it's health insurance or whatever kind of insurance, who are doing this already. They are doing it. You can be paying insurance there, and in case of things like maybe death or things like you want to build a property and the like, you can still go to them and say, okay, this is my money, I want to use it now. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. It was an awesome time having two great men from the soil of Zambia, the President Chamber of Commerce, Lusaka, and Industry, and also MP for SHESEKE. Good night and have a wonderful, pleasant time.
Thank you.
Good night and thank you very much. God bless you all.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Good night.
you.